guys, it's Benjamin Zamish, author of Creating Freedom and founder of Move, Learn, Create, and welcome back to episode 13 of The Manic Serenity, where I'm helping people to become more available to the magic of life, to become more receptive to the immensity, really, of what is available, what is there for us as human beings as we, have our time in this incredible experience. And this episode is the first of my annual Thanksgiving specials. So what makes up a Thanksgiving special? Well, it's exactly like every other episode, only we talk about gratitude and I release it on Thanksgiving. So let's get right into it. How many times this year have you had a moment, at least a moment, where you were absolutely overcome with gratitude, where you feel like you're gonna burst, like you can't contain it, like you're gonna explode with the joy and the thanks that comes from total acceptance and a total internal celebration of what is there. And isn't that where joy and thanks and gratitude really comes from, is just simply accepting and celebrating what is there. So we've all heard about the power of gratitude, right? I mean, maybe you've heard Oprah say how a huge turning point in her life was where she developed a deliberate gratitude practice. Or maybe you've read the old prosperity literature, Napoleon Hill, Wallace Wattles, all of those incredible books that focus so intently on the power of gratitude and how it has the ability to just revolutionize everything in your life. I mean, the efficiency and the effectiveness of this is just beyond debate. We've all heard about it. We've probably heard about it from so many different sources in so many different ways. But how hard this is to do. I watched decades go by, fully aware of the power of this practice. I knew exactly what would happen if I implemented it, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't exist in this attitude of gratitude. Obviously I saw all the movies and the documentaries and stuff, but I was never able to actually implement it into my life and install it into my being in any real way, because I was too busy studying methods, and planning steps to acquire and achieve all of my, my goals and the things that I wanted so badly. And then once I had that, then obviously, naturally, I would just evolve into a being of pure, gratitude and love and light and thanksgiving constantly for all of these incredible things that I now have. And it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's so absurd. I'm so thankful. Here goes some gratitude. I'm so thankful that I finally, after all that time, that I finally woke up and realized in a real way that that's just not how it works, that never actually happens. Gratitude never comes into our experience. Gratitude will never become a way of being for you and have actual tangible effect on your experience of life because you acquired something from the outside. That is not how this process works. So when you're focused on what you want, okay, when you're just thinking about the things out there that you want, your whole being is aligned with a vibration of lack. You're constantly reinforcing a poverty mindset, and you are wasting all of your energy as it pours into this delusional vacuum of this lie called scarcity. Because that's really where all of your intention and effort is coming from when you live like that. But we know this. I mean, we know this. We all know this. Maybe we don't articulate it to ourselves like that, but we have all heard it. We've all come across a source where this has come into our experience and it resonated with us. I mean, if you're a Christian, in the Bible, Jesus is always talking about this. I mean, he defines the way to pray. Believe you've already received it and it will be yours. I mean, it's just right there everywhere you look. You cannot be focused on the things that you lack, or else, you're never going to have them. You have to reverse that process, which brings us back to the whole process of gratitude. So what's the problem? What really is the problem? Well, it's rooted in our conditioning, right? I mean, the problem really stems from all of these patterns and unexamined places within ourselves from where we are all creating our experience. We know we're creating our own experience. We know this. So if we're experiencing things that we don't like, that we don't understand, that we can't overcome, then obviously those are being created from places within ourselves that we have not examined and taken control of. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about conditioning. So for example, what I'm talking about here, every one of us, every single one of us can sit down right now and write down all of the wisdom that we know to be true. All of the things that we've seen, in our own life and seen vivid examples of in the lives of those people around us. And then every single one of us will have to admit that we don't actually put into practice any of these truths. We never actually make it a part of our being. That's the problem. We're not doing the work. The conditioning is doing its work on us all the time. So even though we know better, we're not doing the work. It's like Brendan Burchard always says, endless shout outs to Brendan. He says, common sense is almost never common practice. And that sums it up. I mean, that's it. Common sense isn't common practice. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. So how about let's stop playing games with our well-being, shall we? I mean, let's make common sense into common practice and dig ourselves out of this pit of despair that we've all collectively decided to inhabit. I mean, where it's normal to be having, the roughest time of your life. It's like offensive in 2020 to say that you're doing really well, and don't tell anyone you're having the best year of your life because it's hate speech. It's ridiculous. So the list of things, first step, okay, bottom line, first place we're going to start here. The list of things that you have to be thankful for is too long for a human brain to actually work its way through in an entire lifetime. Okay? That's it. Period. So from that, let's go to our first conclusion, our first step. Stop complaining. Okay? Step one. Stop complaining. We can at least have enough wisdom to do that, right? Let's just stop complaining. Step two is to address why it is that we can't see that. Why is it so hard to remember that? Why is it so difficult all of a sudden for us when we're caught up in our, in our head and in the circumstances of our lives? Why aren't we constantly aware of all the things that we have to be thankful for? Why do we not wake up with tears of joy to be gifted with another day? What is actually going on here? Why? Well, you're having an experience of free will, yes? And now, do you think that free will extends only to what you're going to have for dinner tonight? I mean, it makes me think of a quote from one of the Carlos Castaneda books where Don Juan says something like, I'm paraphrasing here, he says, either work to make yourself happy or you work to make yourself miserable, but the amount of work is the same. Or when Lao Tzu was on his deathbed and his disciples were crowded around him, clamoring around him, asking, Master, please, before you go, tell us the secret of your perpetual happiness. Tell us the secret of this endless bliss. He said, oh, that? Well, It's just that every morning when I wake up, I have a choice to be happy or I have a choice to be miserable. And it's just that up until now, I happen to always choose to be happy. So this is not rocket science. This mystery. Like, this is almost not worth making a video for because it's so simple. The power of gratitude is not the topic for discussion here. We already know that it opens us up to the magic that we're longing for. We already know that gratitude for what is already there is what is going to allow our heart's desire to enter our experience. Right? We know this. The problem is that we're not allowing this power to enter our life. We're not actually allowing this to take root into our system because we are not choosing to be thankful. Period. The end. Mystery solved. We are not choosing to be thankful. When Oprah says, my life transformed when I implemented a deliberate gratitude practice, deliberate gratitude. You have to choose to be thankful. If you want the power of gratitude to take effect in your life, if you want your days to become endless Thanksgivings, if you want to experience the magic of what's available there in this life, you have to choose to be thankful. If you want to get into better shape, you have to work out. If you want to understand a different language, you have to learn it. If you want to be better hydrated, you have to drink more water. I mean, if you want to experience a life overflowing with the things that you're grateful for, if you want to remember what tears of joy feel like, you have to choose to be thankful. That's all there is to it. And this is what the personal development journey is about. This is a perfect example of what the whole effort towards personal mastery is about. It's about acknowledging that we're living our lives within nonsensical structures of behavior, basically. We know better, but we're doing it anyway. So we're living through, even to our own minds, through nonsensical structures of behavior. Then we have to do the work. We have to strive to learn the tools and methods and understandings that will give us the clarity and the perspective that we need to implement these tools and new practices into our life in a way that will free us from our burdens. I mean, don't think for a second that any aspect of the human experience is different or separate from another. I mean, don't allow yourself to believe that what you're getting out of this life is in any way disconnected from what you're putting in. Okay, let me say that again. Don't allow yourself to believe that what you are getting out of this life is in any way different than what you are putting in. Okay, that covers everything. If you really get that, then you can just stop watching my videos forever because you've got it all. It's you. I mean, don't think that you can create a national holiday called Thanksgiving and get together with your family for dinner and say out loud what you're thankful for, and that somehow you're going to make a dent on the, the impact of 364 other days of constant complaining within our thoughts, our words, our actions. I mean, just reinforcing to each other and constantly commiserating over these, the endless circumstances of our life that we're so, unfortunately forced to, suffer under the burden of and toil, through the labor involved to overcome this, this horrible situation that these nonstop crises that we're all dealing with. That's where we're putting our energy. That's where we're putting our attention. And that's why those seem so real to us. You can live the other way. Like, we work to make ourselves happy or we work to make ourselves miserable. But the amount of work is the same. You are constantly doing this work. You're just doing it unconsciously, allowing your attention to go in the other direction. So then you see a video like this and you're like, oh, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. I get that. I get that now. I know that to be true. And then you go back downstairs or whatever, and you sit back down and you turn the news back on and you sit there and you shake your head and you call it fellowship as you all sit around and talk to each other about everything that's wrong. And then when someone like me stands up and says, I'm having an experience that I cannot put into words. I don't remember when the last day happened where I didn't have my face washed by tears of ecstasy. All of a sudden, I'm like intolerable. I'm mad. I'm insane. I'm crazy. This isn't realistic. You know, that makes me uncomfortable. People think, you know, I'm a hermit because I'm not willing to be anything less than a reflection of what is in my living reality. And it's just simply because I'm doing exactly what you're doing. I'm just choosing to point all that effort in a different direction. And that's why I'm here, and that's what I want for you. I want you to start this journey towards a new way of being. All the resources that I've created are to help you take all that energy, take all that life that's happening within you, all of that potential, and point it in the direction that's going to give you perpetual fulfillment instead of allowing you to suffer under the constant reality of unrealized desire. Go in the description for this video and take advantage of all the resources. There are plenty to keep you busy, and they're free. And then there's more resources if you want to continue the journey, but you have to do the work. And do that. Sign up for something free, and you're going to get direct access to me. When I send you a free course, when I send you a free ebook that I wrote for you and I'm giving to you, hit reply on that email. Ask me a question. It's going to come directly to me. Ask me any question about anything that is preventing you. In your experience, what is it that's preventing you from implementing these things that you know to be true? Because how many times in these videos do I say, you know this, we know this? The problem is we're not doing the work. So what is it that's preventing you from doing the work? Please ask me. Allow me to address it directly. If it's a good question, I'll make a video on it. I probably already have, and it's scheduled to come out, in a month or two. And then acknowledge, okay, we're wrapping it up. Acknowledge that we have all dug ourselves into a hole, okay? Just accept it, that we have unconsciously allowed a tremendous amount of momentum to build up in our lives that's going the wrong direction. And then get the right tools, do the work, and turn it around. I mean, this isn't easy, but I cannot honestly say that it's difficult either. You just have to do it. Okay, you just have to do it, and you will experience what you have the capacity to experience. So begin now, to develop the strength, to develop the commitment, the wisdom, and the perseverance to deliberately choose to be thankful. Okay, do this now. Start this now, and as you continue down that path, all of a sudden you're going to realize that your life has become a miracle. If Jesus reappears, you're going to ask him for a miracle. But I'm telling you, he's right here. It's all right here. You're the miracle that you're looking for. It's you. You just have to go down that path. And you're going to get to a point, the desire is never going to go away. The pull of limitless possibility is never going to go away. It's going to constantly push you, but it's going to push you into a place where you're going to be able to say, as I did, okay, the desire is still there, but if you are forced to name a desire, all you can wish for is more ways to give thanks for everything that you already have. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your time. Gratitude, 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 and more gratitude. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with anyone and everyone. You know, whether or not you think it'll resonate with them, you know they need to hear it, whoever it is. So do that. Hit the like button. Please comment. Ask me anything. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, if you have any questions about anything, if it's personal, do like I said. If you're already signed up for the Momentum Masterclass, or if you've downloaded the free ebook and there's a course that's coming, it's already done. I just have to put it together, and just hit reply on any of those resources that I send you via email. That email will go directly to me. Ask me any question you want, and we'll address it and get ourselves going in the right direction. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.